I'll kind of walk through, and Bill is kind enough to put the slides up for us. We have some people on the call who know the company very well, so please bear with me. We have some people on the call who don't know the company that well, and so I will try to make this presentation good for everyone. So as you know, Acorn Energy owns 99% of OmniMetrix, which is the only subsidiary that we currently have. In the years past, Acorn was a holding company with many different companies, and we've sold them all off to focus on what we believe is the best company, and one that has significant growth attributes, and that is OmniMetrix. There are 40 million shares outstanding of Acorn Energy. The insiders own about 28 to 29% of the company. What OmniMetrix does is it provides remote monitoring of predominantly generators, also rectifiers, which sit on top of gas pipelines and monitor the electric current on gas pipelines that prevent corrosion. We also monitor air compressors and have a number of other products that we sell, but the key is it's a remote monitoring product. You'll see what the product looks like in the slides forthcoming. This is a high margin business, and what at least I believe to be the real value in the company is the recurring monitoring revenue that the company has. For the first 6 months this year, our recurring revenue was approximately 60%, and we think it will, most probably the monitoring number will grow as a percentage of overall sales. It might drop a little bit to 55% over the longer term, but will be a significant value to our company. Overall, we believe our company can grow in excess of 20% a year. We'll talk about why we believe that is the case. And our monitors are agnostic, meaning you can put one of our OmniMetrix monitors on a Generac, Kohler, Briggs & Stratton machine, and it works for everyone. So therefore, dealers who sell many brands of product like our monitors, because they can stock less inventory. And clearly, as travel restrictions, illnesses, and other factors, the biggest one being environmental, remote monitoring is certainly very much where the industry is going. Next slide, slide number 4, just gives some of the financial highlights of the company. Our current enterprise value is about $22 million. In 2020, we did about $6 million in revenue. If you just take the 20% growth for 2021 and 2022, you get to $8.6 million of 2022 revenue. Obviously, our goal is to beat that. And it gives us an enterprise value of about 2.5 times sales, which we believe is very low. If you look at where other companies are selling, it's usually 3 to 5 times sales. Larger companies get somewhat bigger multiples, but companies that have larger recurring revenue also get bigger multiples. So we obviously believe that our stock is undervalued at 2.5 times our estimate for 2022 revenue. On slide number 5 is just a picture of our product. That's our TG Pro, which is for commercial industrial generators. And then the other side is our pipeline rectifier monitor, which is for pipeline cathodic protection, as I said, against corrosion on pipelines. Slide number 6 just tells you that our monitors are remote and therefore can do it over cellular or satellite, whatever the customer wants. So most of our customers, 95% want cellular. However, there are some customers who are in far removed places and like satellite, especially, for example, offshore oil and gas. Satellite communication is how they remotely monitor their equipment. On slide number 7, I think it's an important slide in understanding why we think we're going to grow significantly, and that is because for our customers, it is a lot cheaper to monitor their pieces of equipment remotely than the way it's been done in the past, which is truck rolls. So typically a dealer, usually if there's a problem with a generator, has to send out 2 truck rolls, the first one to diagnose what the problem is, and sometimes the second one to fix what the problem is. With remote monitoring, he knows in advance what the problem is and can fix it with only 1 truck roll. So not only is it cheaper for him, and it is also very good for the environment. Plus, a lot of dealers use it as a profit center because they charge their customers for remote monitoring. On page 8 is just a snapshot of some of our customers in both the cathodic protection and in the generator space. We clearly have some significant customers who use our product. On slide number 9 is the growth drivers to our company. So I would think the number 1 growth driver that we have is just the growth in generators in the United States. The grid is becoming less reliable, and therefore generator sales are up very significantly. Generac is really the only public company today that you can follow the sales, and their numbers are up substantially today. Most dealers have at least a 20-week backlog in order to get generators, and that's how fast the industry is growing. So since that's what we monitor, so our base business should be growing fairly significantly. In addition to that, as we're an IoT company and data is becoming more and more important, people who've never had monitoring before understand the benefits of the monitoring and are putting in monitors. As air quality is being monitored and more states are asking for air quality management, our monitors do report on air quality, meaning when do generators get turned on, turned off, and there's a record of that the EPA is looking to get. So just data in general the need for data in general is increasing, and that is very good for our business. And then overall, we've had infrastructure spend that has really been delayed over the last few years, and as pipelines get built and overall infrastructure gets invested in, that too is very good for our business. On page 10, we have just some of our newer products, Smart Annunciator, which we launched last year, and the air compressor monitor that we launched the year before. We are currently launching a new product in our cathodic protection business, which will be out in the 4th quarter. It's currently being beta tested in a few of our larger customers. On slide number 11, just again talks about the growth in the generator market, the weather and how that impacts the grid. But even, I believe, more important than weather and wildfires is the fact that coal and nuclear power are being generated less and less onto the grid, and wind and solar become more, and wind and solar are just not as reliable because it depends on clouds and other things that Mother Nature sends us. So the grid is becoming less and less reliable, and therefore more and more people are buying their own generators. We also have people working from home and working remotely, and so therefore power in a person's home is becoming more important, also driving the growth in generators. On page 12 is some of our competitive advantages. We have a bunch of patents on our product, and then we have just years of expertise. We've been in this business for over 25 years. Our CTO is most probably the most well-known engineer of remote monitoring in the industry. And so we think we're very well positioned in the industry to grow. On page 13 is just a snapshot of our balance sheet. As you can see, we have $2 million in cash, no debt, and just a very clean balance sheet, which hopefully we can use that maybe in addition to some other funds to make some accretive acquisitions. We have $70 million of NOLs that will certainly protect our income going forward, especially with the potential for an increase in corporate tax rate makes that a little bit more valuable. On page 14 is just our leadership. I just would like to say that I've been working with Tracy Clifford on and off for over 20 years. And in my 40 years of experience interacting with CFOs and COOs, I can unequivocally say that Tracy is the best CFO and CEO that I know. We're fortunate to have her working for Acorn and OmniMetrix. On page 15 is just an investment summary. As said, the multiple on revenues we think is low for our company. Our business is well positioned for growth because of size of market and trends within those markets. We have strong technology and new products coming that have come and are coming. We have a large customer base, strong balance sheet, and with the insiders owning as much stock as we have, we're certainly committed to growing value for our shareholders. Slides 16 and through 19 are just things that happened historically with the company prior to the new management team taking over, and things that we've done since 2016 to improve the company. I don't think that is important for the company going forward, but for people who want to have a little background on the company, that's slides 17 through 19 do. So that is a very quick run through of the company. As I said, most of you know what the company is already, but I will leave it. I would now leave it open for some Q&A.